Hey, welcome back to an episode of Instagram Podcast. I'm your host, Juan. As always, my co-host here with me. Hey, Trip.
Hey, that's me.
How you doing, man?
I'm pretty good. I'm really happy that you and I are here together to talk about Great Pretender because it is a fantastic show on Netflix. Everyone should go and watch it. Very, very good. Just overall, very good.
Are you conning me, bro? You great pretendering me, bro? You confidence man, my guy?
If I was, everything would already be set up for this to be like the best episode of all time, but you wouldn't realize it until the end. Which is not going to happen because I can't live up to that.
True. Very true. Anyways, yeah, Great Pretender on Netflix. It came out, 2 weeks ago? Something like that?
Yeah, it came out a couple weeks ago. We've been excited about it. We've been waiting for it. It's made by Wit Studio, who we're big fans of, based off of, Attack on Titan, and that's it. And then we followed them ever since.
When you got something like that, you don't really need another ones. Ever?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, yeah, we're good.
Little show called Attack on Titan. Ever heard of it?
No, what's that about?
I don't know, about Titans.
And about big boys and little boys. And
yeah,
that's about it.
But yes, we'll be talking about Great Pretender. Me, Trip, we both enjoyed it. We'll get later more into detail about that later. But right now, Trip, I'm gonna ask you, how you doing, man? What's good? What's up with you?
Been solid. Haven't been up to much that I can remember.
Can't remember, huh?
It's just one of them weeks, where we recorded longer ago.
A day longer ago, yes.
Day longer ago, which always throws me off because I'm like, what the fuck did I do? I think I just played like a buck ton of Temtem for a couple of days, which is this Pokemon knockoff game. It's like a massive multiplayer type thing. You can play it with your friends. Every single fight is a team fight. And it's just so much fun. It's so charming. It's so good. We've played about 20 hours. We know that there's at least 20 more left. And that's before you get to, all right, I finished all the story and now I could do the battle tower or whatever the fuck exists in this game. Yeah, it's insanely fun. It takes so much work, so much effort. Finally, after 20 hours, we evolved our first dudes.
What do your Temtems look like? Can you describe them?
One of them looks like an emo kid who just came out of his mom's basement to tell off a brony.
Whoa. I instantly thought of the emo son from Horton Hears a Who for some reason. That's all
right.
That's who I described. That's what I thought in my head.
Sure.
Okay.
And then he hovers.
Oh, and he floats. Okay.
Yeah, because he's psychic,
Yeah, I'll be. Yeah. Yeah. That's funny that you're talking about how because we recorded one day earlier, shit feels a little bit different. I shit you not, Trip. Today I woke up, I was like, oh, fuck, I gotta throw out the trash. It's garbage day. So I'm grabbing all the garbage, in the bathroom downstairs in my office. And then I go outside and I go, wait, hold on. Today's Tuesday. We record the podcast Tuesday. Garbage day's on Wednesday. Fuck. And so throw out the garbage, come back in. I was go back to sleep.
Well, you were almost super responsible.
Almost. I was.
Actually, no, you weren't because that was last minute panic.
Exactly. That's what that was. That was me being oh, fuck. The one responsibility I have, I fucked it. That's
well, good job not fucking that up.
Well, yeah, no, tomorrow the garbage is already thrown out. So,
Oh, hell yeah.
What else, man?
So that guy, I named him Prismo because beforehand he just looked like a little weird alien thing.
Okay.
Now he looks like
an emo that's just come out of his mother's basement to tell off a brony.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember.
Yeah,
and that floats because he's psychic.
Precisely. So you got him. You have a toucan, but he's kind of cartoonier looking than a toucan, a little bit, a little baby bit,
Mm-hmm.
His eyes show emotions,
Okay.
That's Pryan with a P.
Yeah. No, how else would you spell that? Yes.
Mm-hmm. And then I've got Potato on my team. Potato's my tank. He looks kind of like a rabbit and a wombat combined into a kind of like a weird
wabbit. A wombat.
Like a green earth panda.
I was really hoping that you were going to say, yeah, they got Potato. He's my tank. And he looks kind of like Potato. That's what I was hoping you were going to go for.
Nah, he looks like a sack of potatoes, which is why I named him Potato.
Okay.
Because the wombats, wombats are kind of big and I don't even know what to say.
Yeah, no, I
would
understand.
say fluffy, but they're big old sacky boys.
Yeah, the hand gestures you're making describe a wombat perfectly.
Whoop, 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 whoop.
Yeah.
So That's my team. And then Sam has this turtle that's made out of crystals.
Okay.
And he's been swapping guys out. I'm trying to remember who he has right now. He brought the toucan in for a bit. He took the toucan out. He's got
he put the toucan in and he shook it all about.
Yeah, there you go. But he has a water boy who he got to evolve. Oh man, what is his name? I don't remember his name. But he has a water boy that he evolved, and he looks like kind of like a tadpole, but bigger and more tails.
Okay, so like
two more tails.
Okay, kind of like a tadpole, so kind of like a Polyworld with tails.
Sure.
Okay. Is he a water type?
Let's say that. Yeah.
Nice. Water boy, water
Pretty
type makes
solid.
sense. Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense. And then the last one is named Mo. Mo Lester is his name.
No fucking way.
Yeah, we call Mo out whenever we want to deal some psychic bird hits.
Mo
on stuff. Yeah.
Damn it. Are molesters pedophiles? If it's pedophiles, it's going to be a good episode. You know, everybody knows the rules. Fucking
molesters can be pedophiles.
Shoot the confetti. Boys,
why not?
We talking about them. What type of what are they called? They're not called Pokemon.
Temtem.
What kind of Temtem is he? Flying?
Half psychic, half flying.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
He's got this he's kind of like a proud looking owl type dude who's like a little bit too fancy. Like imagine like a girl holding a fan in front of her face.
Oh, nice.
But then make her like hella cocky and then make her psychic. And turn her into that owl thing I described.
Yeah, I think I nailed it. Yeah.
Yeah. That's it.
Dope.
And those are our Temtems.
Do you catch Temtems in balls?
Oh, no. Cards, dude.
No.
Yeah, you have these little squares. That have like a triangle in the middle. So you got like two triangles in the corners and a big triangle. And then it slides open and the like corners go out from it. And it winds up making this big old card. And you go and you smash them inside the digital card. And you carry around your cards and you shove them in a machine to heal. It's a whole thing. It's pretty great.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, anyways, Temtem, fantastic. Having such a fun time. It's a huge game. Way bigger than I expected it to be. The music's great. The animations are great. The whole thing is really solid. And it's very exciting to go around and see what shit other people have. Because there's this Marowak-looking motherfucker, which is like a lizard with a rock skull or like a rock head type looking thing. Rock is protecting its head, more or less. But it looks like way more intense than Marowak looks. It looks like just this angry, ripped lizard with a helmet. And it's sick. I'm super excited about that guy. We might wind up swapping some people to check out what his deal is. And then we have... there's this flame salamander thing, which it stands on two legs. At least I think we saw it running around for like a second. So I think it stands on two legs, but it looks like one of those lizards that like runs across water and like steps up on his back two legs and then kind of like, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, the ones that
those guys
that run together on water. Yeah.
Yeah. So it looks kind of like one of those, but then like puff its tail up to be kind of like a giant skink tail and then shoot some flame out of it. It looks tight. And then we've got a Hydra that we've seen. Like, all of these things are just things that we've seen other people that have them, and we're like, oh shit, can't wait till we get to the fire zone, see all that. There's like a 3-headed Hydra that's gold and red, and they have shinies in this game, and I don't know if it's a shiny or not, but that shit looks special.
Whoa, dude. I'm just scrolling through some Temtems. There's this one that's like a shark fin and wings and like a shark mouth and eyes on the side, kind of like a hammerhead shark. He's got 3 claws, 2 claws on his feet. He's red and orange. The fuck,
Sounds
man?
Cool.
Yeah, fucking wild
Sounds
looking.
super cool. I don't know. Like, I think the designs in this game are very fun. The dialogue is also fun, which I've mentioned before.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyways, played a shit ton of that. It was a very bueno time. Played more Fall Guys, like a lot more Fall Guys.
Like too much Fall Guys. Like almost like
bender this week, kind of, you know.
I think every day I get a text from me like, "Hey guys, when you trying to fall?"
Yeah. Well, I just need to know because I want to play with the homies. It's fun to play alone, but it's just I don't care as much. I want to play with my friends because I have more fun.
Yeah, no, it makes sense.
You know, so I just got to hit up the homies, see who's down to jam.
Well, I can't fall tomorrow. School.
Yeah, classic school gets in the way of everything.
I might be able to fall on Thursday though.
Thursday, it's a plan. We'll do it. We'll stream it live.
We're doing it live.
Well, that's the only way to do it, I guess, if you're streaming. But yeah, man, it's been a lot of fun on Sunday, maybe. I think Sunday I was playing alone. Yeah, because I was busy like all day Saturday, I think. I don't fucking remember. Anyways, so I was playing some Fall Guys alone, and Kyle texts me, and he's like, "How many wins you get today?" And I was like, "Oh, I got a bunch." He's like how many? I'm like, "Yeah, I got 19 wins in like 5 hours of playing it." And he was just like, "Well, I'm happy with my 6." I'm like, "Yeah, man, that's the way to do it. Don't compare yourself." Like,
yeah,
that's why I'm not trying to tell him how many wins I have. But then when you put it in perspective like that, I'm like, I play too much fucking Fall Guys.
Yeah, you play a lot of Fall Guys.
But whatever. I tried playing a little bit on PC tonight since I've been playing mostly on PlayStation with my friends. It's totally different on PC.
You maxed out on PlayStation, right? Like you leveled up all you can on Season 1, right?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Where you at for PC?
Like level 20 or something?
Well, you have been playing a lot more
maybe
on PlayStation, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it definitely ramps up like how long it takes for you to level up when you get to those higher levels too. Anyways, playing on PC is a totally different situation because, I mean, first off, you have hackers, which is not super fun. You can try to take them down when they're on your team, and that's really the best thing you can do. But on PC, people are a lot better than on PlayStation because I did a slime climb and 17 people made it, and I've never seen more than 15 people make it on PlayStation.
What kind of baffles me about people hacking is like, why would you want to hack Fall Guys?
Makes no sense.
Like, there's no global ranking. There's no league, right? There's no, like, you couldn't stream yourself hacking because then they ban you, right? They fucking X out your shit. Like, what makes it fun that you can fly above everybody and make it to the end first? Like, why is that entertaining?
Well, you get it. I don't know if it is entertaining. I don't know if people do it just so that they could get like the new stuff for the day or whatever. But it makes no sense to me. I'm like, those are rewards that like you get if you're able to get those. But it's not the end of the world because then they go into a different rotation where you don't have to use crowns to buy them. You could use other points that you just get from playing. Kudos.
It's just baffling. It's like the game has such low stakes that like why would you need to? The stakes like are being like, oh man, I don't get the horse head right now because I'm short 3 crowns or whatever. It's like
like oh no,
like who the fuck? You can only wear one. It's like when people buy a bunch of shoes. I'm like, you can only wear one pair of shoes at a time. Why are you flexing that you have 20 pairs of Jordans? Like you can't put them all on at once, you idiot. You know?
Yeah.
So
I don't know.
It just always confuses me because there's no hackers on PlayStation, right? That network's super secure. I feel like it's more fun.
I do too, but people do complain about input lag, and honestly, after playing tonight, I disagree with them still.
Yeah, okay.
I'm like,
suck it, Eliza.
If there is input lag, it doesn't affect how well I play the game whatsoever. I feel like on PlayStation, I haven't had as much janky shit happen to me on PlayStation as I have on PC.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I was doing a slime climb and somebody jumped into me and I just went skyrocketing out. And I fell into I'm talking like, oh, I'm just chilling. And then somebody hops right on top of me and my character launches backwards into the slime. And I'm like, not like a fall, not like a tumble, like a full on
like catapult,
physics don't exist. Yeah,
shit's
crazy.
I saw someone jump on top of the game. What's it called? Where you run through the doors and break through them.
Yeah, DoorDash.
It was like a piece of door that had fallen.
Yeah.
He jumped on and he got flung over the next door. I was like, how the fuck does that happen?
The physics are really weird on those doors. So if they are on the ground, you could jump on them and maybe get boosted forward.
Yeah.
So a lot of people like to take that risk, and I like to take that risk too.
Yeah,
I think it looks stupid and it's fun, but the physics on the doors are for sure messed up.
Yeah.
I don't know. I watched a fuck ton of She-Ra.
Really?
On accident. Didn't even realize I was watching a fuck ton of it. I was like, let's just get through the season. And then I'm like, all right, start season 2. Time to stop. What the fuck? This is season 4 now? Like, what? It was crazy. I mean, there are a couple of points where like maybe it felt like it could be the end, but it just so fluidly goes into like the next story arc. Show's pretty solid. Show got really gay in like my favorite ways.
Nice.
Character has 2 dads, and they are supportive and fun and great. I love them. And then that's pretty much the only new gay shit. All the other gay shit is regular old gay shit.
Yeah, old news, yeah.
So like it's been around for a while. No good updates on that. But yeah, I was super surprised that She-Ra is like this compelling. And of course I don't want to spoil any stories for people that haven't seen it, but it's definitely gone in many different directions in ways that I couldn't have predicted. Essentially, like a quick overview of the plot of like the first season, at least, is there's a good side and a bad side. They're very aware of being good and bad, except for our main character named Adora. She was an orphan. She was raised on the bad side. She switches over to the good side and realizes she's She-Ra when she finds a sword, and then like she just can turn into She-Ra. So she's been selected to be this protector of the world. And that's essentially it. She's just there to try to fend off the bad guys. And it develops into you don't even fucking know why the bad guys are doing this. You find out why the bad guys are doing it, and you're like, well, that's just straight up evil. Still nothing like interesting there. And then you find out who all the characters are and where they came from and how they got to this point. And it's like, oh, there's a ton of backstory. There's some really interesting, like, unpredictable story elements that come into play and turn this from being like a slightly sci-fi, like really hard fantasy show into this show's just fucking sci-fi, like out of control. It's so much fun and I love it. A lot of characters really grow on me, and it's fun to watch. It's a great time. There's an ice princess and a water princess, so they team up together all the time. So the water one does cool shit and the ice one freezes the water. They have fun interactions like that. Just lots of really entertaining, interesting plot points. And they just killed off a major character. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Whoa. Didn't expect that to happen. So I'm very excited to finish the rest of it.
It's good, man. I'm glad that you're enjoying your show. I've seen a lot of like stills from She-Ra, and then like I don't know how you describe it. Like, I don't know if they're clips from the show, but like they feel like they might be made specifically for advertisement and stuff. But this is like introducing people, and it's interesting looking. At least like I haven't seen it, but there's a lot of shows I want to watch that I'm like, I should finish before I start something else, kind of thing. I'm very good at starting things and just like, I'll finish it eventually. So
it'll just But yeah, I think you would really enjoy She-Ra. I think you would like a lot of things, a lot of character designs, a lot of choices that they make.
Cool,
solid show. Everyone should check it out. It's on Netflix. It's made by DreamWorks, and they apparently have this amazing team that's great at making TV shows at DreamWorks. So way to go! Yeah, excited to see more of that. And I don't know, nothing's special at work. We got the same stupid shit that always happens where like people are just being people, but nothing super exciting. I will tell you a development with I don't think I talked about this on the podcast last week, but there's been this whole issue with a washer and dryer situation.
Yeah, I don't think you did. I think it was saved for afterwards. It's pretty fun.
I did talk about it after, so I'll go ahead and share it now. or not washer dryer situation, just a clothing washer. This apartment has had problems with their washer since they've moved in. It's been shutting off during the rent cycle. So our maintenance goes over and they're like, yo, what up? Nothing's wrong with it. You're putting too much shit in here and it's shutting itself down because it gets off balance. It wears out the motor and then it knows that it's wearing the motor out. So it shuts itself down after like being damaged or whatever. Mm-hmm. So they do this for the next month. They put in like weekly work orders like, hey, something's wrong. We had somebody covering for our regular maintenance guy, and he went over there and was like, whatever, we'll replace the timer. Like, if they keep putting it in, something must be wrong. So they replaced the timer, which would take it off of the rinse cycle and push it forward. That being said, by the way, our maintenance has never had it get stuck. It always just goes straight through, so there's nothing that he could prove. So same situation happened, but there was nothing to prove. Replaced the timer on it, and nothing changed. It still worked like normal until the resident used it and then said, it's still getting sucked. You need to do something about this. So, of course, we do something about it. We replace it with Emily, my assistant manager. We replace it with her washing machine because this is her babysitter that's complaining about all this shit like that doesn't even exist. And she won't listen to us or any of that. And we're like, fine, fuck it. We know that you have a dirty ass laundry area, so we'll take yours. We'll clean it as best we can. We'll switch it with Emily's, and then Emily's goes to yours. It'll be fine. And Emily's like, hey, I did my fiance's laundry, and he works in a welding place, so his clothes get like real dirty, and he has to wear really heavy clothes too.
Yeah, like thick stuff.
So, yeah, so it's not like she's doing like an easy ass load of laundry. She's doing like the most intense laundry that they'll be able to have. Mm-hmm. And then, so she puts it through, no issues, 0. Everything's good. It's been a week now. Issues are still non-existent. Everything's fine. No complaints at all. And literally nothing was changed. And this person is just like, yep, everything works good. I don't know. It's so stupid.
Yeah.
People just, they get their mind set on it. They're like, this is broken. And we're like, you put 4 quilts in your washing machine. It's not going to be able to wash those.
Yeah.
They're heavy. They're dense. When they soak up water, it gets off balance. And then it stops itself from like destroying the machine. Anyways, that person, this goes into a second story. So that person who has the non-existent washing machine issues is also Emily's babysitter until yesterday.
Ooh.
Where Emily's fiance was sick. So he called in sick to work and was like, I'm not coming in. I'm staying at home. Sorry. So Emily was just like, hey, babysitter, you don't have to come today. You know, Justin's sick. You probably shouldn't be there. So thank you anyways. We'll let you know next time, you know, if everything's good tomorrow, if we need you tomorrow or whatever. And she's like, well, I'm still getting paid for today. And Emily's like, fuck no, you're not doing your job. Why are you getting paid? Like, it's not like we have a contract or anything. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
You expect me to pay you $70 for doing nothing? Like, my husband is sick, her fiance is sick, and he isn't able to make money for the day. I'm not paying you money because you didn't show up. And she's like, oh, well, I just thought we had an agreement where you paid me for those days of the week regardless. And it's like, what? No, nobody has an agreement like that. No babysitter has an agreement like that unless you have like a contract and you're like a nanny or something.
Sort of like, in-house
but not
nanny.
Some person that I'm like, yo, $70 to watch my kid a day. Sound like a chill plan? And then she's okay with it. Because I think she only watches the kid for like 5 hours or something like that anyways. Anywho, so this whole thing happened. It was a big conflict for Emily at work. She was stressing about it. She's like, I don't know what to do. And I'm like, well, do you want her to watch your kid? Like, after all of this shit, after the whole washing machine situation where she's just like being belligerent and stupid about the whole situation, or after she insisted you paid her for not watching your kid. So Emily decides, of course, she's going to have to fire her.
Yeah.
But doesn't want to fire her and doesn't want it to be a big confrontation or anything. So the babysitter was showing up to the apartment after Emily gets off work so that Emily could pay her. And she's like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say. And I'm like, all right, well, you don't have to fire her because she isn't she doesn't have to keep watching your kid. She isn't obligated to for any reason. So instead, you just say, we'll let you know the next time we need you.
Yeah.
Just keep it like that. So she did that. And then apparently right afterwards, the babysitter goes on all social media and starts talking shit about Emily. And it's just like, this bitch, I went over there to fucking quit. And she says, like, we'll let you know the next time. Like, fuck you. There's no way that I'm coming back. Like, come on. And then blocked Emily on everything right after she did that.
Yeah. I mean, but isn't that kind of shitty or just like, I was there to quit? It's like, her telling you she'll call you when she needs you is the polite way to fire you. Like she's essentially said,
absolutely.
She just said, we don't need you anymore. So don't feel like you're gonna come back. And she's like, I was gonna quit anyways. Like, no, bitch, you got fired. Like, really nice.
You got fired, dude. But she's so bitter that she got fired and didn't quit instead because she felt like she was so in the wrong. And Emily's like, no, absolutely, fuck this. And literally everyone else that knew about it is like, yeah, no, you guys didn't have an agreement that she gets paid every week, regardless.
There wasn't a contract.
You had an agreement that she gets paid every week. She watches the kid for the days she watches the kid.
Yeah.
Like, whatever. Whole big messy thing. Such a dumb person. I'm so happy that she got fired. So
I like that's how Emily solved it. It wasn't like, we gotta evict her. She can't live here anymore. You know, like
that's now the new worry. Emily's like, oh, she's gonna egg my truck. She's gonna harass us at work. I'm like, dude, if she does that, then we evict her. Like, we know exactly who's doing what. I don't want to evict anybody, but if this person is going to attack you, that's violent, bro. That is not okay. That is an act of aggression, and she needs to get the fuck out of our property.
Yeah, that's funny, dude.
It's a whole wild time, dude. So I'm having fun with that. But Emily had to call out of work today. It's the first of the month, which tends to be pretty busy for property jobs. So I thought it was going to be like a fucking rough day. Turns out it wasn't until like 4, when everyone, after the first 6.5 hours have gone by, then everyone's like, yeah, we got problems. We got lots of problems, and we're all coming in now. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm the only one that could really answer anything, because we have the new girl who she was here for like a week and then went on vacation for 2 weeks, and now she's back again. So it's kind of like she's still like first week.
It's like her first week, yeah.
Yeah. And then we have the training manager who doesn't know our property very well, and she's only able to answer like a limited amount of questions as well. And we have myself, who knows fucking everything. And nobody wants to talk to anybody else except for me. So while I have like the end of the day paperwork shit that I've been trying to get done since Friday, but I didn't have the like invoices I needed from the company because weird stuff came up and their like machines broke down. It was a whole situation. I was trying to get that shit done on Friday. Got pushed to Monday. They still didn't figure it out. Got pushed to today, when I called the dude who runs the whole carpet cleaning company that I was waiting for the invoices, and like, what the fuck's happening? So he came by and he hung out for a little bit, told me about his idea of selling t-shirts to college kids that say like Joe Rogan and like some other guy that's apparently frequently on the podcast but isn't always on there. Joe Rogan and that guy, he never said his name, like 2020. Like elect them.
That was his. That's his.
And I'm like, you know what? College kids will buy the fuck out of that.
Yeah.
Like, sure, dude, you do it. You got it.
That probably already exists, but yeah, all right.
It probably already does, but that was his big idea. He was excited to talk about. And at the same time that he's coming in and finally taking care of the shit that I've been waiting for like 5 days, people are calling. They're like, there's a creepy guy at the pool who's talking to my kids. And I'm like, what? So I had to figure out that whole thing. He's just some guy that comes and visits his family, and he was chilling at the pool alone and just making small talk with a couple of moms. And then he was talking to the kids because they were nearby too. And then they were like, nope, he's creepy. I'm out of here. And I'm yeah, well, then like, that's fine. But you don't have to call the main office. Like, he didn't say or do anything wrong. He was just talking to the people around him, which... Why the fuck are you at the pool talking to people anyways? Because, like, they were close enough to him to where he could talk. It's a pandemic. Stay the fuck away from each other.
Go in your house, yeah.
It's crazy. So that all happened. That was a thing. I don't know. There was more shit. It was just nonstop at the end of the day. But it was like, here's some weird concern that only Chris can help me with. I'm like, Jesus Christ. Why? I don't want to help anybody with anything. I just want to go home, talk about some great anime with my homie. That's all I want to do.
Yeah, man.
But instead I get home and then I get a call and they're like, hey, a kid pooped in the pool. I'm like, kid pooped in the pool? I'm on it. I love these situations because it means that I get to shut the pool down. And these motherfuckers have to stay away from each other and stop like getting all up in each other's biz.
If you want, if you want, I can just go over there and poop in the pool every morning for you.
Please. I mean, I don't think our pool guy Joe would appreciate that very much, but like,
oh, Joe doesn't like honest work, that piece of shit.
He's doing honest work too.
Yeah.
He hates it.
Oh,
but he does it.
Okay. That's right.
You're doing honest work. He's doing honest work.
We're
all honest.
He is cleaning poop out of pools. I guess that is honest work.
That's honest as fuck, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think there's any other cool shit. I haven't been doing anything. I said, just big vibing.
Okay, man.
I almost started watching that one show that we decided looked dumb, or like the plot was dumb. The Princess Connect Redive or whatever it's called.
What?
Do you remember the name of that? It's the mushroom show.
What are you talking
about?
Where's
the giant mushroom fight? And they're hungry, and the main character has no thoughts. Oh, big dummy boy. Oh, big dumb, no thoughts.
Oh, okay, okay, yes, I remember.
And it looks fucking gorgeous.
That the big dummy boy really sold it. I had no idea what you were talking about.
What is food? I've never heard of currency. He gets just like, dude, come, shut the fuck up.
He gets pulled away by two dogs or whatever, two stray dogs.
Yeah, he's getting isekai'd like a motherfucker.
Yeah, great looking show. It's all we can really say.
And because it looks so good, I almost decided to watch some, but I'm a good boy. I don't do that.
Good man. Good for you.
Homie, don't do that shit. That's it. Okay. I guess. I didn't watch it. I have been watching a shit ton of Korone on YouTube. She is an Anituber. She has like the dog avatar. Kind of like dog anime girl. Anyways, she's playing through Banjo-Kazooie. She played Pokemon Snap. She's playing Fall Guys. She's playing a lot of shit that I like really, really enjoy. So I've been watching a lot of I don't understand Japanese, so I've been watching a lot of somebody playing these games and screaming.
Oh, she doesn't speak English. Great. Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's a wild time watching somebody play like this childhood, like beautiful, close to my heart game, Banjo-Kazooie, and not say anything that I understand about it except for like rolling attack. She'll like yell that. But like that's the kind of shit that you hear, and that's it. It's so much fun. I love it.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you found something to enjoy, even though it's strange.
Now tell me about your life. What have you been up to? What are you doing?
Okay, well, so fantasy football starts pretty soon. Actually, hold on. Real football starts soon, which means that fantasy football should start soon. And as people know, I am an avid fantasy football player. That last year was my first time as a champion. I have a championship belt laying around here somewhere. I won over $300 playing. Thank you very much.
What? 300?
Over 300.
That's more money than I've ever seen.
That's a lot of money.
Oh, which, by the way, sorry to interrupt you. One last thing. I bought like $150 of candy today.
Right.
That's it. I've got a problem.
Yeah,
it's not all for me. It's for other people too. Come on.
Trip's gonna divvy out 17 individual pieces of haichu and then send them to me in the post mail or whatever, and then we review all of the haichus. I really want to know what plain yogurt tastes like.
Me too. I'll send it to you in a vat of hand sanitizer.
Yeah, it's just swimming in it.
Yeah, they're all loosely floating. And
it's just like, I can't tell which one's which because all the colors come out of them. It seep through. I was like, oh, damn it.
It's also a mystery game. I don't know. So you won $300.
Over $300. I'm not exactly sure how much exactly, but it's over $300. Anyways. Yeah, so real football starting. There's a lot of concerns with like sports starting up again with the pandemic, but sports is a thing that makes a lot of money for our economy. So it's like something that obviously people want to see, and people really get a kick out of it. So the basketball, the NBA has been doing the bubble down in Miami, Disney. It's in Disney down there in Florida. I think it's in Florida, Orlando, Florida, right? That's where Disney is. Yeah. So they have the bubble there. So they have like people. They have players who were made it to the playoffs, and they're like sequestered in hotels, and they're just not supposed to have any outside people, and they're testing them regularly. And so far, it's gone pretty well. There was one player that left the bubble. Him and his, I think it was a coach or something. Maybe not like the head coach, but an assistant coach left because they wanted to go to a place called, I think it was called Emerald City, which is a very frequented strip club that has amazing chicken wings. So they really wanted to get them chicken wings. He was fined heavily for leaving the bubble just to get chicken wings.
Yeah. Similar to that, I just learned that Hawaii was doing some shit because most of their economy is like tourism and stuff, and exports. And anyways, they apparently had set up their hotel rooms to be like a one use only. You can get in, but you can't leave your hotel room because people were still trying to vacation there, right?
Yeah.
So they would give you a one-use key, and then if anybody came to the front desk and they're like, "Oh, hey, I'm so sorry, I can't get back in. My key's not working," then they would call the police.
Whoa!
Because you are legally supposed to be quarantined for that amount of time. And yeah, if you're from out of state, then I thought that was fucking nuts that they were just like, one use. Hello, police? Yeah, I have a motherfucker here
who broke the law. Yeah. No, I did see some reports of people going to like still traveling to Hawaii and being like, I'm being told to go back to my hotel rooms. Like, yeah, because you're not supposed to be outside, bro. It's a tiny island. Yeah. Anyways.
But I did hear that Hawaii is also having issues where like people are still eating inside and whatnot, and they're not following social distancing, not wearing masks.
That's not surprising though.
Yeah, but it's not tourists that are doing it, it's locals, so it's like really frustrating to all the people that are there like, what the fuck? We put these laws in place so this shit wouldn't happen, and y'all are fucking it up now?
Yeah.
It's a whole mess.
But anyways, so like I said, there are things being put into motion to make, professional sports happen. So they made some things for football. I'm not exactly sure. Obviously, there's going to be stadiums are going to be empty. Baseball started too, by the way. But baseball has been doing pretty poorly. There are whole teams that have gotten sick, and they're just like, cool, we're postponing these next 3 games, and it's just like that's happening a lot. People just not being able to stay sick. A lot of players are opting out. They're saying, well, I just don't want to play. To some of them for like their health reasons. Other people being like, I don't see the point in it, kind of like there's too many restrictions, or they know themselves to others like I'm not going to be able to not go out and do stuff like a fucking idiot. I might as well just not play. So there's a lot of things going on, but the football's supposed to start I think the first week of on the 10th. So this in September. So we have to get our draft going.
And you have been in charge of it the last couple of years.
I have. I've been the commissioner for the last 2 years, and at the end of last year, after winning, I was like, you know what? I'm really over being commissioner. You deal with just a lot of people bitching about stuff, being like, oh, well, this player got dropped and I added, and like just like a bunch of like bullshit. It comes down to people whining and being like, I lost, so I'm going to complain about everything. It's never they lost because they didn't put the right lineup. They lost because something's unfair about the way the game's set up. It's like, no, we all agreed upon these rules, and every year we do a revision and we go, do you guys want any of this to change? And usually it's no, we're okay with it. And then
and then nobody's okay.
Yeah. And then like, 6 weeks into it, they go like, that's how the waiver wire works. I didn't agree with that's how the waiver wire should work. I'm like, well, the waiver wire has been going like that for the last 6 weeks. I'm not gonna fucking change it for you. Well, this is bullshit. No wonder I'm losing. It's like, you're losing because you suck. Maybe you should be better. Stuff like that. So I talked to Adrian. I was like, hey man, I don't want to be commissioner. Would you be commissioner next season? And he's like, yeah, sure. Adrian hasn't done anything for the entire offseason, which is fine. I usually don't do anything to set up fantasy football, at least maybe like a month and a half, maybe 2 out, let people know like, hey, who's interested in playing and stuff, trying to set up a day to draft. But Adrian didn't do anything, and football was supposed to start in 2 weeks. I was like, well, I'm not gonna push it. Like, I don't fucking care. Like, I'll stay the champion for another fucking year. I don't give a shit. I bought the goddamn fucking belt in the first place. This is the first time I've ever had to got to actually own it. But someone brought it up, and then wheels started moving, and I was telling you, I think I told you about it. Like, I'm really surprised at how mature everybody was being. Everybody was being super like hey, what works best for you? Can we do this? Like, hey, we're short a player. Does anybody have a player?
I got you.
Yeah. So we got everything. We had everything great. We finally had the draft day set up, and then lo and behold, one asshole comes in and starts fucking running amok just to be a dick. We do a buy-in. We used to have a $20 buy-in, I think, like 3 seasons ago. So it was really low.
Yeah.
Like, it was like there's no stakes. Last season we had $50 buy-in, which is still super low. I know some people have like $300 buy-ins, but that's like way too rich for our blood. So we're like, the question was like, hey, Adrian brought up a good point. It's like, hey, with COVID, we don't know how football is going to look. It could be canceled midway season. It could be games could get postponed or just not played. It's like, what do you guys think about there being some sort of like clause where like if we all agree, if more than some of us vote and agree for there to be a refund can be issued. No problem solved. I'm like, yeah, as long as we all agree, as long as like it's written down as to what the cat is. Like, I don't want it to be like this player that's really good got sick and he couldn't play for 2 weeks, and so that's why I lost the league. There's gonna be a lot of people getting sick. That's not gonna stop happening. So I was like, if we can all agree upon what the rules should be for a full refund, I'm more than fair to do it. Great. So we all did that. We agreed. And then I was like, what should the buy-in be? And Adrian said, like, well, because of COVID, some people are strapped for cash. Some people just can't afford a $50 buy-in. You know, like, he's like, how do you guys feel about having a $50 buy-in, not putting it up to 100 like this year? Like we had planned, like we'll bump it up $100 to make it $100, right? And if a lot of people say no buy-in, we can just play for fun, right? And I was like, look, I'm down for 50, but if enough people vote that they don't want to buy in, I'm still willing to play with no buy-in, right? And then one asshole's just like, I want to play for 100. And then Adrian's like, well, we all, we're talking about why we can't all play for 100 because some of us don't have the funds to do that because we don't have work. Like 3 of the guys that played with us are, what are they called? Longshoremen in Seattle. So they work, work the docks, they unload ships, and they get paid very well. But because Seattle's super hit by the pandemic, there is nothing coming in and out of port. So it's hard for them to get any ships. So they're like super strapped for cash. It's like, look, maybe $50, $100 isn't bad for you, but $100 for someone else right now is a lot of money. Like, how about you don't be an asshole and just be happy you're getting 50? And he's like, and then he goes like, and then his end was like, well, let's just play for $10. Like, if you guys are gonna be a bunch of pussies, don't want to fucking play for 100, let's just play for 10. I was like, that's not the point. Like, you're being a dick. But I think he's just being a troll for the sake of being a troll. That's the biggest issue we had. But yeah, I'm excited. I've been practicing. I got to pick what position I want to draft in, because the way we do it is like standings from last year get to pick what position I want to play. Last year, 2 years ago, I didn't place the highest. I think I placed maybe like around like 6th or 7th. And so I picked the 10th position, which is cool because it's a snake draft. So at the 10th pick, I then get the 11th pick. So I get 2, right? So
I didn't realize what it was called.
a snake draft. It kind of goes back and forth, snakes back and forth.
I always look at it as more of like a sine graph.
Okay.
So I'm just saying, like, in my head, I have no fucking clue. Yeah. But I guess a parabola.
So everything was being like, everything's going forward, and then Adrian hits me like, hey man, what position do you want? I go, fuck. Like, I don't have like time to actually think about it. Usually it's like we have like a few days because like he asked me and then he'll go to the next person. I was like, the draft's coming pretty quick. I don't want to be a dick because I'm the first one to start. I have to like start going to like, man, give me a day. I'll think about it. He's like, yeah, man, no worries. Like, take your time. I was like, but I do need an answer. So I've been practicing a bunch of mock drafts and I settled on the first pick. I don't know. I've never drafted first ever. First is good because that means you're gonna get the best player. Like, out of all of them, you get the best player, which is right now Christian McCaffrey, which is arguably like the best running back there is.
Okay,
but
that never heard that name before, so it's one thing where I'm like,
well, he's pretty new. He's also like a white boy, so like he's out here. He plays for the Panthers. He's killer, man. He had so many yards and so many touchdowns last season. I think he scored over 400 points by himself, which is more than some quarterbacks.
A lot of touches. But
the idea is like, if I pick him first, my next player is gonna be what? So if it's 10, so like the 20th. Like, so I'm gonna get the first and then probably the 20th pick, right? And then I'll get like, it goes another. So then I get the 40th and the 41st pick. So it's like, my picks are so spread apart. I just got to hope that I can get a good team. But yeah, I'm excited for it. I am preparing myself. I'm not super into the idea of like, I have to win. I did feel like that before because I was like, I've never won before. I'd like to win. And now that I've won, like, cool, man, I did it. I can always say I was champion that one season. So if I don't win this season, I'm not super bummed out. But I hope to win.
Low.
Yeah. I think it'd be fun to take another W. But if I don't, it's fine. At least I got Fall Guys. I get all the crowns there.
Man, my favorite thing about Fall Guys is watching and supporting like my friends play it. Mm-hmm. But I really want to see you get that win on Hexagon the way that you play it.
The way
I will for sure fucking kill. I want you to kill me actually on Hexagon.
I'm not good at Hexagon. It's the trick is to jump. You know, kind of time your jumping and be really
to
precise.
Slow yourself down. Yeah,
I'm not very good at that. So I've decided the way I play Hexagon is I run really fast and then try to make my as close as I can to people and grab them and just make them fall to their death. I'd never win, but it is fun. I'm like,
it's crazy to watch. I'm like, holy shit. And I watched somebody else get a win by doing that. They did it to 3 people. And I was just like, what the fuck? This is malicious.
Yeah.
Juan needs to keep doing what he's doing. He needs to refine his skill.
Well, I feel like Hexagon's one of those games where like, it's like an unsaid rule. Like, hey, this is how you play. The way you kill people is cutting them off. You take their tiles and you island them, right? Not me. I was like, no, man, I'm a fucking be a dick. And I'm not a dick in any of the other games, except for with you. No. If you're ever in front of me in a race, I grab you instantly. I'm like, just because like you're still going to qualify. You don't fucking care.
Whatever.
But when you grabbed me back, that super shocked me. I was like, oh my God, Trip's grabbing me. He won't let go. But yeah, that's how I like to play Hexagon. It's fun. I don't know if I'll ever win that way, but it makes it more entertaining because it's one of my least favorite final games. So that's fantasy football. That's Fall Guys. I got to go to the dentist finally after not going to the dentist for a very long time. I told you I broke a crown. That's the main reason I was there. But they also had to do general inspection, like x-rays, let me know other treatments they want to do for me. It's like, cool. Can I get this gold tooth popping? Is it going to happen? And the dentist is like, look, man, do you want my honest opinion? I was like, absolutely. You're a dentist. I would love to hear what you have to say. He's like, I wouldn't do it if I were you. He's like, because if you smile, and he held up a mirror, and his reason was he held up the mirror, smile, look at your smile. I was like, do you see your tooth? That's the tooth we're replacing. It is in your smile line. It is, it peaks at the very end. You do see it. So people will see your gold tooth. And I go, yeah, but for me, that's not a deterrent. I'm okay with people seeing it. He was like, if it were a front tooth, I understand it being that is maybe a little more
It's kind of obnoxious, and it definitely it catches your eye more.
Exactly.
But if you're just laughing and it's that little thing, the person that saw it is really paying attention to you, so you know that they sincerely mean, hey, you have a gold fucking tooth, when they say that shit,
But also I also don't smile with my teeth. Whenever I take a photo, I'm not a teethy smile kind of guy. So I was
you're just
I'm a closed kind of smirk kind of dude that just
pursed lips.
Yeah. That's just
judging everybody.
That's just how I've always been. So it's oh, well, I understand it for your reason. But if that's your only reason as to why not, if it's about the same price, if it's going to do the job, it's going to last just as long as I'm down. And the nurse, the general hygienist that was there too, she was just like, hey, if you want my opinion, fucking go for it, bro. Start shining, dude. Get your fucking glow on.
That's what's up.
All right. So then he sent me home. Was talk to your wife, see what she says. And I was just like, no, that's fair. I feel it's a good point. And me and Sierra talked about it. And Sierra's like, yeah. She's like, I don't care. She's like, and she told me if it was any of your front eight teeth.
If it was
I would be totally against it. But because it's in the back, whatever. I was like, dope. So I'm able to get that done. I also got a cleaning while I was there, which is nice. New dentist. He's interesting. I've never had a guy dentist. I usually always had girl dentists.
Oh, really? Okay.
And he was, it felt what's it, locker room talk. He's like, hey, man, but not dirty. It was more yo, dude, so this guy once came in and he was well, I work as an x-ray technician. He started showing me photos of stuff that was up people's butts. I go, that's pretty funny. Hey, man, what was up there? He goes iPhones, iPhone chargers, I was pickle forks. I was dude, that's crazy.
What is a pickle fork?
That's what I asked too. He goes apparently it's a special fork that's smaller, so you can use it to put in the jar and grab the pickles, but it's not a full size fork. I was oh, it's a small fork.
Rich motherfuckers have their own forks for pickles,
dude. This guy
probably costs $1,000.
This guy's pretty loaded. He was just my brother goes there too. He knows my brother, knows my dad, and he's just like, "Yo, me and your brother talk about shoes all the time." He was like, "I got these shoes, I got that." She's like, "Oh, dude, wrong guy. I don't care. Like, I'm not a secret dude." And then he was talking to me about, he asked me like what I was doing. He's like, "Oh, I'm trying to be animator." He's like, "What type of animation?" He's like, "I haven't decided. I'm thinking maybe game." And he goes, "Oh, I was just playing The Last of Us 2." I was like, "Cool." He's like, "Ever heard of it?" It's like, "Yes, I have." He's like, "Ever played it?" I was like, "No, I don't play video games." He's like, and he's just like, he's like, "Oh," I was like, "Well, I was playing it and having a good time. My daughter was there watching, me play, and it's pretty violent, but it's a video game, so it's no big deal." And the daughter's, I guess she's like a teenager or something, but not like super old. And he was just like, "Yeah, having a good time." And then all of a sudden, the two characters from the screen start having sex. They start going to town, and it's like, and I'm just trying to cancel it and like trying to skip it. And then my wife comes in, and then my daughter yells, "Mom, dad's watching porno on the TV." It's like, oh, I was so embarrassed. I was like, "Oh, you poor thing."
It's rough, man.
But
he was okay with.
Yeah.
I love that that's like a cutting off point. But he's okay with the hyper realistic violence, and he was fine with the like secret weed room with the like bong gas mask.
But not like people fucking, I guess.
He was all good with the like insinuated sex.
Yeah, but he was just like
even though the characters were making out and taking off their clothes, and then it cuts.
Yeah, he was like, "Oh man,
it
all looks super
action.
Realistic. You like everything, was animated." So I'm like, "Yeah, man, it looks really real," but it's not. So, anyways, having a good time with the dentist. I had to get another appointment to actually get the crown done because it's going to take a while. So I have to go back in. I think 2 weeks to get it fitted. They're gonna give me like a temporary crown, and then I think another 2 weeks for them to have it made and then put it in. So maybe in a month I'll be shining for you, bro. I'll be like, be looking like a real gangster.
Cannot wait.
So yes, so that is still happening. I'm happy about that. Other things, I watched a movie just recently called Mom and Dad. It's a Nick Cage movie. It's a horror movie in quotations. I think maybe DJ showed me the trailer about this, but it's about Nick Cage. It's about all parents in this, I guess all over the world, going crazy and trying to kill their kids. And like if the kids are trying to survive. But it's Nick Cage.
That sounds really familiar.
It's on Hulu.
That sounds like something DJ showed everybody.
Yeah. It was something else, man. I was like, is this good? No, I don't think it's good. This is interesting. It brought up a lot of questions like, well, what's the logistics of it? Like, how far back does it go? Do his parents try to kill him? His parents do try to kill him. But then any scene where Nick Cage is in it, he's just like hamming it up, being the craziest Nick Cage that he could be. I was like, Jesus Christ, look at you and your fucking glorious son of a bitch. So yeah, would not recommend. Don't watch it. It wasn't good.
Of course.
I watched The Knight's Tale. It came up on Netflix. I'd never seen it before. I was like, oh, I'll add this to my queue. And then the next day, I mistakenly asked Sierra, like, hey, do you want to watch this movie with me? And she kind of looked at me with like wide eyes, like, is that a bad thing? She's like, hey, do you not like that movie? She's like, no, I love that movie. I was like, oh, so do you want to watch this? Like, are you sure? I was like, yeah, sure. Like, why not? Big mistake. Sierra knew every fucking word of this movie. She was fighting the urge to dance and to sing and to quote everything. And I was like, I fucking hate this. I hate how much she loves this. And then like also because it was like a movie where like I think it was like late 90s, early 2000s, they did like this weird stuff where like they played really contemporary music in the old timey Knights show, movie. And I was just like, I fucking hate this. This is fucking dumb. But I bet you when it came out, people were like, this is amazing. It's revolutionary. We love it. It's so quirky. But in the end, I was like, you know what? The movie was entertaining though. Like I did get a kick out of it. Yeah, it was like a solid movie.
It's just it's hard because there's shit that ages so well and shit that's very like of its time.
Yeah.
How do you feel about this one? Do you think it would have been better if you saw it?
I think, yeah, no, honestly, if I would have saw it when I was younger, I would have liked it a lot more. But I understand it. Like I can tell like why there's so much love and nostalgia for it. It's a young Heath Ledger. We got fucking the dude for The Vision. I don't know what his name is. His real name is. There's the ginger from Dodgeball. Like there's like people you recognize in there. I was like, oh, and they have funny bits and quotes and stuff. And it's like, oh, I get it. It's kind of like reminiscent of like on that same level of I guess The Princess Bride, where it's like got that cult following. People love it.
That's what I always kind of compare it to, but I think The Princess Bride stands above it.
Yeah, I'm sure people like that one better too. I've also never seen that one. I've seen bits of it. I've never watched it all the way through. And I'm sure if I watch it with Sierra, she'll be doing the same thing, which is good. I'm glad she enjoys things that much. But it's like sometimes I should just watch things by myself, because then I don't have that added pressure of being like, well, she's having an amazing time. I wish I could have an amazing time like her right now, or kind of stuff like that, or me hating it and being like, well, I don't want to tell her I hate it. But it was a good time. I enjoyed watching it with her, and I think it would have been better if I watched it as a kid. Is it as good as The Black Knight? Definitely not. Definitely not. We talked about that.
Yeah, when I was younger, I could never remember which is which, and it carried on to my adulthood because I did not I still, up until this conversation that we had, could not remember which one is which.
Which one has Martin Lawrence and which one doesn't.
Because I never remember the name of Black Knight, which is obviously the black parody of A Knight's Tale.
Mm-hmm, yeah. It's an isekai, bro. It's isekai of the year.
I couldn't remember which was which because as a kid, they were both just different movies to me and not a parody of the other. So like Black Knight was never a thing. They were both A Knight's Tale to me. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, which one is that?
Which one
is
that?
The one with Martin Lawrence or not? Yeah. Oh, okay. So there's a different movie. Yeah, a whole thing.
More movie talk. I watched The Karate Kid on Netflix. I've been going through like a bit of like a phase where like I need to put something on while I'm working.
Yeah.
And so I've been watching Family Matters, Master Chef, Danny Phantom, Naruto. It's just like I just kind of put it on. I don't ever pay full attention, but it's just there. And I was like, oh, The Karate Kid. I haven't seen that in years, like so long. I was like, all right, let's pop it in. And I was having a good time, and it did hinder my work a little bit. I was like, oh, I don't remember this scene, and like, but it was good. And this was, when was this? This was not yesterday, Sunday night. It was Sunday night. I was like, oh, cool, man. No, today's the 1st, right? Today's Tuesday. So yeah. It was Monday night. Sunday night, going to Monday. Anyway.
Yesterday?
It was yesterday, and I was watching, having a good time, and then my Netflix started acting all fucky, dude. It started like jumping and skipping. I was like, huh, what's going on? And I was like, maybe like I need to refresh the page or something, right? Because my Wi-Fi was fine, so I refresh it, and then it just goes back to like the original Netflix thing, and I go, okay, cool. I go to my continues, and there's nothing there, and I go, okay, I'll just type in The Karate Kid. So I type The Karate Kid, and it says, do you want to watch Cobra Kai, which is on Netflix now, by the way, which is like the sequel thing. About the bad guy from The Karate Kid. I was like, and I was like, maybe I'll watch that, but I really want to just finish The Karate Kid. I think I'm like 80 minutes in. There's probably only like 40 more to go or something. Let's fucking finish it. I can't find it. Go to Netflix. I go Google. I go Karate Kid Netflix. And it sends me to the page where it says Karate Kid and says remind me. It's like, what? So then I Google things leaving Netflix in August or whatever. This month, and the first thing on the list is September 1st, Karate Kid 1, 2, 3, fucking gone. So I was watching it August 31st. It turned midnight. It stopped working. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? I was so fucking mad. That's never happened to me. I've never had Netflix being like, pulled the rug from underneath me, like, no, go fucking suck a dick. We said it was going on the 1st. It's the 1st now.
Was Karate Kid a Disney movie?
I don't know. I know the new Karate Kid, the one with Will Smith and Jackie Chan was, but I don't know if the old ones were.
That's why I wasn't sure. I'm like, is it a Disney reboot? I'm pretty sure it would. No, because they bought Fox. When did they buy Fox?
I don't fucking know. All I know is that I'm fucking mad because Netflix fucked me out of finishing the Karate Kid that I was so invested in.
I'm just trying to figure out if you should be mad at Netflix or at Disney.
I don't know.
I just want you to direct your anger where it needs to be.
Well, you figure it out, and I'll direct my anger that way. But okay. I'm upset, dude. I was like, I feel incomplete. I was like, dude, I didn't even get to finish the fucking Karate Kid.
Yeah, that's rough.
That's never happened before. But just so people know, be wary. Users be wary when Netflix says, hey, we're taking this off on this day. They fucking mean it. They'll cut your shit off halfway through the movie.
No joking.
They don't care. The last thing I want to talk about is I finished another season of The Challenge with Sierra. This was a shorter one. It was only 8 episodes long. It was season 16, The Island. It was, I think I mentioned it a little bit before, but you did. It's a Survivor ripoff. The players in this season get deserted in quotations on an island on an island that has a shelter, and they get airdropped food. It's not anywhere near as bad as Survivor, and they're just like, we're starving out here. All we get is rice and like packets of frozen meat and fish that they send us. It's the worst. I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
Like,
they get nothing
healthy
in
meals
Survivor.
for life. Yeah.
Yeah, and the way this season worked was like the guy's like, hey man, there's actually no challenges this season. There's only things we call, I don't even know what they call them, fucking gulags, or I don't know what they're called. They're called something different. But if you would win this like it was a 3-man thing. 3 people went in and one person would win, and they would win a key, and then the second person would then get voted to stay on the island or get sent home. And if they get to stay on the island, they get a key. There's 8 keys to be given out. And then they'd have to build a boat that was also a part of the airdrop and then paddle across to the way to an island that had their fucking treasure. So yeah, it just like the whole mechanics of the game felt really like, I don't know, incomplete and like just not really well thought out. There wasn't any real rhyme or rule to things. People were like, we're going to vote. And there was players who just said, well, I'm never going to get a chance to win a key because, they're never going to let me, compete in one of these things. And it's just like, that's what happened. And it was just kind of lame. At the very end, they're like, okay, cool. Anybody who still doesn't have a key, you get to go in one more time and win a key. It was really dumb.
The island, man.
The island, yeah. And then this is also the first season that Johnny Bananas, which is Sierra's favorite contestant, wins his first challenge. This is his first challenge out of 4, so he wins a total of 7. So this is the first one. He also played 20 seasons, so yeah, not that great. I think it's 20 seasons.
Damn, okay.
I'm not a big fan of him. I liked him really early on, and then he just becomes like a real dickhead, and he becomes really arrogant and cocky. And then in later seasons when he wins, I feel like he almost wins by default, just because the people that he plays with just refuse to like compete against him or make moves against him. And whenever anybody does make a move against Johnny, it's just like Johnny's like, how could you do that? Do you know who I am? And fucking Johnny Bananas, and like we were friends. And how dare you betray me? And it's just like, dude, you betray people all the fucking time. And he's just like, I would never do that to you. But he's a scumbag, and I love that he's a scumbag because people call each other scumbags all the time who are scumbags. Like Johnny's just like, CT, total scumbags. Like, yeah, Johnny, arguably you are also the biggest scumbag there is too. Like all they do is talk about like how scummy you have to be to play, and they do great because they're all shitty. Anyways, that's his first win. Out of 10, 3.5. Fucking trash city. So far, my least favorite season. And it might be also because I'm such a huge fan of Survivors. Like, why would I want to watch a shitty, super watered down version of it? That's it, man. Besides that, I've been watching some real animes. What animes you been watching?
I will get to that in a second. You could be mad at Netflix. From what I could tell, you could be mad at Netflix.
So what am I watching? I watched the new Rented G-Friend. You watched that?
I don't know. Was there a new episode that came out today or yesterday?
The last one I remember is a Christmas episode.
Hell yeah, I was there. I watched it all.
Tell me about
I watched it all and I ate it up. So our main character sucks. He continues to suck. We find out more stuff about other characters that make you like them more, and you keep going like, oh yeah, our main character sucks. That's all that happens. He does some light stalking on Christmas Eve all day.
Yeah.
And then he gets caught.
Yeah, we also found out that the main character girl is an aspiring actress. And I go, okay, why is this a huge surprise? You're a great actress. You should
doesn't surprise me at all. Yeah, she's fucking killing it, dude.
And he gets given a gift from her, a Christmas gift. Actually, it's not a Christmas gift. It's a I'm sorry gift or thank you gift or something. She makes it very clear it's not a gift. And it's a film case with fishes on it. And he's so happy. He breaks down in tears. And I'm just like, oh, this bitch likes him. She likes him, Drip.
He sucks so much.
He does suck. He's pretty shitty. So yeah, but still
Toxic
great show.
Traits.
Love the way it looks.
Oh yeah. So much fun. I love the show. It's great.
Oh, and I guess no new outro. I'm sorry, I spoke too soon. It's still him just shaking up a soda can and coming.
You didn't speak too soon. There was a new outro.
What?
It was just an exposition last week.
Yeah, but I thought that was going to be the new outro from now on.
No.
That's what I said.
No.
I was like,
okay.
I was telling you, I was like there's an outro that was different. I was like, is that the new outro? Are they just going to play this girl's story every time?
No,
and it came back to him just shaking the soda can.
Exactly.
Yeah. So anyways.
No, I don't think she's important enough of a character to keep emphasizing her role in the show and her backstory.
Especially when they just told you everything in like a 2-minute song or whatever.
Mm-hmm. And I'm pretty sure that they did that same thing for another character. Like maybe they did it for Mommy or something like that.
I don't remember. I don't remember.
I do remember going like, oh yeah, that's right. The like jerking off ending. So
yeah,
I think that I was confused because there wasn't an outro of like another episode or something like that. I don't know. Anyways, yeah, Rent a Girlfriend, really solid show, super obnoxious main character, but it definitely is a fun ride. It's kind of a cheap show because it's just like it's all this facilitated drama that could have been completely avoided, but because of whoopsie daisy, I'm bad at social situations, it derives into this whole complicated mess of we have to pretend to be dating for everybody, but we're not, but we're going to slowly develop feelings for each other, but we're not going to admit those feelings, and then more characters are going to get introduced that also have feelings for main character because it's a harem, even though he's a stupid piece of shit who can't even get a girlfriend, is the whole plot of his character.
It's great, dude. Like, it's fucking great. It's everything
it's fun.
you need. Yeah.
Okay. It's fun. Another just straight up fun show, God of High School.
Oh, okay. I am behind an episode. I did not watch episode 9.
Let me just tell you, it's more of the same shit. Here's some more characters. They do cool fights.
Nice.
Not a lot to say about God of High School. Honestly, it's the more that I watch it, the less that I'm like excited about what happens next, I guess. Mm-hmm. Because the pacing of it.
Okay.
It's so fast paced that it just flies through all the plot points of the show. So you don't get to like ruminate in like, oh man, this issue's going on for like 3 episodes. It's like one episode, done episode.
Yeah.
That's it. So it's just very, very fast paced, but I'm very interested to learn more about all the tiger cubs out there. You know what I'm saying? We got like our main tiger cub who's coming in. It's going to be a fun time.
What else? I think what I want to say about God High School was the dub started dropping on
the
Netflix.
Dub did start, yeah.
So there's 2 episodes of the English dub
on
out.
Crunchyroll, not Netflix.
I'm sorry, on Crunchyroll. Sorry. I haven't checked it out. I do want to check it out just to hear what they do with the voices because the show's, again, I really enjoy it. I think it's really good. I hope they cast good voice actors, for people who watch things dubbed. So I am gonna, when I get a chance, at least watch one and see if I get a feel for it. But yeah, if that's what you've been waiting for God of High School, don't worry, it's coming out slowly, so check it out.
Yeah. Demon King the Misfit of Demon King Academy. I honestly don't give a fuck anymore. I'm bored, but it looks pretty and it's got fun fights. The characters are just like very one-dimensional and bland. Mm-hmm. So it kind of makes you stop caring, but it's a lot of fun regardless of that. It's an entertaining watch. Same with like Digimon. Nothing special, but it's an entertaining watch.
I think I agree with that Digimon stuff because I actually started rewatching it. I'm at the episode where they introduced the cowgirl chick.
Yeah, Mimi.
Yeah. And I was like, yeah, man, this feels good. It feels like nostalgic, I guess, in the way. And it's cool to see the Digimon. The pacing is different.
Well, yeah, it's a totally different show.
Yeah, but I'm enjoying it as for like what it is. I'm not like super invested, but it is I turn it on and I watch it and I go, that's not bad.
Well, because it's so formulaic, and that's the thing that is kind of difficult with shows like this, is that you want to watch it just for like entertainment purposes. You don't expect to be blown away, but you want to have a fun time, and that's what Digimon is able to do. It's essentially just like, hey, we have a new like threat this week, let's have another Digimon digivolve into a new thing. So like the latest one is Biyomon, who digivolves into Birdramon, who digivolves into Garudamon. I think that's its name. Which is like one of the sickest evolutions. I don't know if you remember it, but it's like this giant Aztec hawk god man. Like the way I imagine it is there's this old game called Black and White where there are different gods that control these little villages, and you're essentially just like choosing a god to command the village. This reminds me of a god that would command like a village of people and tell them like, go and do these things and you will live happy. And go and attack these nations and you will live happy.
I for sure know who Birdramon is. she's like the fire phoenix. Okay, here we go. Oh yeah, okay. He's got like abs. Fucking like it looks like an Indian
ripped as fuck
mask kind of
harpy
thing.
Motherfucker.
Yeah,
I love him.
He's looking pretty fucking wild, man.
He's like a Mesoamerican god.
Yeah, for sure. Dope looking.
Super sick. So we got to see that evolution, which is fun. Now I think we just have to watch Ikakumon turn into Zeusmon and Kabuterimon turn into Mega Kabuterimon.
Which one's
I think those are the only ones left. The bug.
Okay,
the freaky bug with like
the one with the I like that's it's Izzy's Digimon.
Yeah,
right?
whatever his Japanese name is.
Yeah. Fuck his Japanese name. Are we calling him Izzy up in this bitch? Still got dead eyes. He's a fucking murderer.
Dead-eye fish fucker. Yeah. Well, his eyes look like fish eyes. Yeah. Side of the face. Yeah. Yeah. So that's still a fun time. Is there anything else on Crunchyroll I've been jamming to, or is it just those 4? Do you remember?
I think that's it. Yeah. Everything else, I think it was Funimation for you.
That sounds like you're right. So Funimation, we have Lapis Relights, which is the show about the old witches that are learning magic, and they're doing a Harry Potter, except it's like way more focused on here, meet this giant cast of characters, and they're all in different little groups that do these musical performances. They do a little song and dance number. They impress a bunch of people, and the school goes, good job, here's points. So the only way for our main characters to make it out of being expelled from school is to absolutely kill it in one of those performances. They absolutely kill it in that performance, and they get a ton of good points. And then it's found out that the points are from different districts, and it's all supposed to be from one district. So they get fucking expelled.
What?
Yeah, and our main character is like a princess. And her older sister is one of the best performers that exist. It's like a whole thing. So they crushed it. They had this amazing performance, and they're told, hey, go fuck off. So Princess Chick is back home. We don't really know what's going on her. Other girls are big chillin' at this like restaurant, and they live up in the attic of the restaurant. They don't do magic anymore, and there are more people that are like trying to convince them. They're like, you don't need to give up magic entirely because you got kicked out of school. You could still do those sick ass performances. Like, y'all inspired us. And that's where it's at. It's a feel-good show. It's a fun time. It's got great characters, but it's very low stakes, low investment. Just a sweet, fun show with a good cast of characters. We got Millionaire Detective, which fucking rocks. That's all there is to it. It's always a new mystery of the week. Like, oh, we got this big situation, and now it's kind of evolving into, all right, we got this bigger plot of characters, and we got to figure out what their goals are and all of that stuff. Fun show. Really good time. Outro. Oh, man, the outro. Best outro of the season. Saying that right here.
All right, man. In your opinion.
Nope.
In your opinion, it's your favorite outro this season because it's not the best in my opinion.
Okay, what's the best in your opinion?
I don't want to say. I'm going to say it later.
Well, this is the time that we're talking about it.
Yeah, but I'm going to talk about it when we do the wrap up of the season, okay? So
that's a long time from now.
Yeah, I know. Get over
That's a long time for you to be wrong.
Get bent.
Oh, no.
Yeah, bro. Eat my shorts, Doug.
Oh, heck. I don't know. Hey, Pari Ranman, you watch that shit?
Yeah. It was a... did you watch it?
Yeah.
Okay, it was just a chill episode. It was an episode of no racing. It was great.
It was a Hot Springs episode,
It was, yeah. Well, it's funny because it was a Hot Spring episode in America, and so the boys show up super naked, and everybody else is just like in their bathing suits, and they're just like, what the fuck are you naked for? And they're like, oh my God, this cultural thing. I can't believe it. I'm so embarrassed.
Well, no, one of them's like that. The other one's like, well, I'm still doing this thing, and then he has to turn around and not do that thing.
Well, I'll tell you,
on a kind of cultural
main character boy with his hairs down, all wet, looking so good.
He's snacking it, baby.
Yeah. So it was just a fun episode of like the characters just like It's like when we had a day when we play Pathfinders, like instead of like doing the mission, we just like
fucked
fucked around. So it was like cool. They're just like one of them got a haircut, one of them bought a shit ton of pie, one went into a drinking especially when they were drinking in the fucking tavern. They were like taking shots for tequila. I was just like, that's us. That's the Cider Boys right now, bro.
That's the boys.
It was really fun. It wasn't like I like the show. I think it's I don't know. It's good. It's a good time. It's like it's entertaining. And at times like visually can be very stunning. Like the episode before that when they're fighting with the cowboys or the outlaws and he kills some dudes and fucking slices a bullet. I was just like, yo, bro, samurai guy ain't no fucking joke.
Yeah, man, that episode was great.
Yeah, but this new episode, it was fun. It was just a good time to hang out with the friends.
It was so much fun.
Have them all do separate things and then get ready back to racing because he's finished the perfect engine, dog. It's the fucking hybrid engine. It's steam powered. It's fucking steampunk, gas powered, flying powered, magic powered. It's amazing. I'm excited to see.
What I really liked in that episode is Hototo's become like friends with everybody. They're all like, we got to protect Hototo. He's the homie. Mm-hmm. He gets like thrown into the hot spring. And then crazy TJ or whatever, he's just like, yo, do that to me. And I was just like, oh, we're all homies on this blessed day. Yeah, and let's have fun.
And then Dylan is fighting the older brother of the two guys that pretend to be the Gil. I think they're called the Beast Brothers or the I don't know what they're called. But yeah, they've all become friends. And there's like a little bit of romance maybe between the Chinese girl and the fucking samurai. I don't know if it's gonna pan out. I hope so. They're cute together. They make me happy.
Doesn't matter to me as long as we're all having a good time. Yeah, you know. And it seems like that's what this show is really emphasizing. It starts out and it's like it's a fucking race, and then you get to learn the characters, and they're all like, "Let's fucking race each other to the death." And then they start helping each other, and they're like, "We're bros, but I'm gonna kick your ass in this race." And then the race actually happens. They're like, all right, so we're just driving as friends, right? Like we're all just vibing.
They're driving close enough to listen to the same music.
Exactly. It's such a fun show.
I'm interested to see how it ends. If it gets resolved in 12 episodes, or if it's like 2 core and the story continues, or if it's just like 12 and done. You know, like I'm really curious. If we'll never get a second season because I like the characters. I feel like there's more story to be told. I would enjoy them more because they're technically at this point like nearly halfway with the race across the country, right? Because they had to change their race path or whatever to avoid the real Gil, the killer guy or whatever, Gil the Butcher. Yeah, but I'm enjoying it. I'm just happy to be along for the ride, and it's a good show.
But it's not as good as Great Pretender.
No, but we are not talking Great Pretender yet because we have to talk about the news.
I just thought it was important to emphasize that.
Yes,
because we get into the news.
Because we will one day talk about Great Pretender.
Shut the fuck up. I'm super busy talking about the news right now.
Jesus Christ.
You just keep interrupting me. Oh my God.
Fucking shit. Do it.
You want to hear this, right? You want to hear what I'm about to tell you.
Yeah, because I don't have the news in front of me. Give me the news.
All right, let's get into the news. Made in Abyss, Dawn of the Deep Soul. You remember back like last week or the week before or whatever, where we were like, hey, it's releasing in theaters. I don't fucking know why, but whatever. Well, some things are contractually obligated to release in theaters before they could release on like home video shit. Mm-hmm. Pretty sure that's what's going on with this because on September 18th, you can now watch like virtual cinema screenings.
Ooh.
So you and I are possibly streaming it and watching it together, or we're watching it separately, or whatever the fuck.
It will be watched. It will for sure be watched.
It's getting watched, and we are watching about it on a podcast episode. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes. We're excited
we're watching
for this,
about it.
But it does make sense. We were confused as to like it being still released, but yeah, I mean, I bet it'll be released in maybe a theater for a showing, and they can be like, cool, it's been out, we can actually fucking send it to streaming. But yeah, I'm excited for this because this is not the recap one. This is the actual continuation movie. So
there were 2 fucking recap movies for the TV show. Like, if you're already going to watch 4 hours out of a 6-hour show, like,
just watch the fucking show. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyways, it does add a little bit if you decide to watch the recap movies, but the show was still fucking great on its own. And now we're finally getting a continuation. So Made in Abyss, I think it's on High Dive and Amazon Prime. and that's like it or something.
Yeah.
At least for us Americans. So yeah, that's super cool piece of news. Another pretty cool piece of news, a little bit somber, but you know what? We're going to be happy about it. So a former Kyoto Animation animator, their family opened up an art exhibition in their memory. So just a bunch of really cool art that they were able to, put out the work that they were working so hard on all this time.
That's cool. Yeah, that's really good for people who don't maybe not know, didn't hear. There was a arson case that happened at Kyoto Animation, the studios, and a lot of people died, and it was horrible. It was like one of the worst things I think we'd ever seen in the anime, community. But because something horrible like that happened, we did see a lot of wonderful things. Like we got to see people sending cranes and a lot of donations to help the people who were hurt get back on their feet. So it's really nice to see like this family, bring this person's art together.
Yeah. And just so I can clarify, didn't mean animator, it meant background artist.
Yeah. I mean,
so same work.
Yeah. He worked in,
honestly,
they worked at Kyoto. So
background art of so many shows is what I will pay a lot of attention to. What, like, all those extra little details that really make the world feel like what it is.
Especially for Kyoto Animation, because like their shit looks so good. Like animation slick, everything's slick on their end. So yeah, it's cool that this family was able to get together and curate some work and have people see it. Because we don't know, we don't know. We never know what's going to happen. It's great that we're able to celebrate this person. So that's cool. That's super exciting to hear that.
Yeah, absolutely. Finally, the last piece of news I have for you. Nothing super special for you and me, but super special for big fans of the show. The Demon Girl Next Door. Do you remember that one?
Yes.
Okay. The girl who is a demon, and then there's like an angel in the neighborhood, and she's trying to learn how to be a demon.
Yes.
But is honestly just like a total klutz. And then the angel can like eat her if she wants to, essentially.
Yeah, and they go to school together or something like that. They're like classmates or whatever.
Yeah, it's just like a dorky, fun, magical demon versus angel, but they're friends time. Is renewed for a second season.
I'm glad that's...
So the Demon Girl Next Door is getting a second season. Pretty cool.
That's good. Yeah, I know that you and I probably weren't super into it, but it's great when a show gets a second season because some people are into it. So
that's
good for them.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing about this that I really like is that this is a show that I didn't see many people talking about online of like consistently watching it. Nobody within my bubble of friends has watched it. And it's getting renewed for a second season, despite there not being like a ton of very vocal fans that I was aware of. It's cool. People are way stoked.
Dope.
What do you want to talk about?
Great Pretender.
All right, it's a show that's on Netflix, made by Wit Studio. We already talked a little bit about that earlier. They do Attack on Titan and, other shit too. But honestly, it's mostly just Attack on Titan. Cabanera of the Iron Fortress.
Yeah, I was trying to remember another show. It's like, one more show. The show that's exactly like Attack on Titan.
Or the Ancient Magus Bride. I don't know why I said the Great. It's because I'm looking at Great. Anyways, yeah, they make some other shit. Mostly they just make really beautiful, really intensely detailed character type shows. Great Pretender, not even close to the same animation. And they made such a good decision on that. Great Pretender is an original series, so it's not based off of shit, and they killed it. This show was just so entertaining through and through. It starts out, and we know nothing about it. It essentially just shows us like a couple of characters. One is doing a little scam in Tokyo or wherever, somewhere in Japan. I think it was Tokyo, but maybe I'm wrong. And then he actually gets like swindled by the person he was trying to scam. And then it winds up being this whole thing where he follows the person that tricked him, and he winds up in the United States. But the opening shot of the show is him hanging from a Hollywood sign, like the Hollywood Y sign in Hollywood.
The Hollywood sign. Yeah, like it's it's just like yelling for help at the top of his lungs.
Yeah, that's how the show opens, and then it's like, here's the intro, and it's jazzy and it's fun and it's good. All the music is great. The colors are this like very pastel pink, orange, yellow kind of like popping color. It's really great. So the color palette that they chose for this entire show makes it stand out from like the other work that Wit Studio has done. Mm-hmm. And even the like character design, everything feels so unique to this show for Wit Studios projects. If you told me some other studio, if you told me like A1 Pictures or something did this, A1 Pictures has a bunch of different styles. So like maybe, I mean, they teamed together with, or they split up into like Cloverworks, and Cloverworks has done all different kinds of projects with lots of different styles. You know, there's that kind of stuff. But this feels like such a unique take for Wit Studio.
Yeah, it doesn't inherently look like Wit's work, you know, like it's confusing to be like, that you sure they made this? Like, this is really them. Mm-hmm. It's like, okay. And like in the most positive way possible. Like, we're not like shitting on them. It's just like, this doesn't look like, you know, Attack on Titan. This doesn't look like Kabaneri of the Iron Fortress. Like, the way they decided to color things, it's very specifically on color, just like, mm-hmm. and backgrounds, right? It's like,
it's not like they haven't done things that are based in reality as well. Like, I was a big fan of After the Rain, mm-hmm. which is that show about the girl who's a waitress and she has a crush on her boss who's a lot older, that whole thing.
Yeah.
They went for like really realistic colors in that show. It was a slice of life, like drama type situation. It was just a straight up drama, but you know, people, anyways. Ancient Magus Bride has this whole fantastical fantasy element to it. So they used other colors that popped, but they didn't go for like stylized anything. They just made it look really beautiful. Mm-hmm. This show was just oozing with style, and everything looked so clean. All the characters, like they had, I would say that all the characters had realistic body types, except they were also kind of like on the edge of, like, you could see that person doing that thing, that role, with mm-hmm. the way that they look in the, like, their character matches their body.
Yes.
If that makes sense.
I get what you're saying. Yeah, yeah.
So even though it's like, you would probably never see a short little man like that, but if you did see him, I could totally see him doing that.
Yeah. Or you see like or see like this hulking man, you're like, that man is absolutely a bodyguard, and he used to be like the leader of a gang. Like the way he is, it's not like realistic, but it's also not realistic. It's like, it's this weird,
exactly.
Like, wow, they did a great job of like whatever the style they chose to make everything feel real in like that world.
Yeah, it almost feels like a caricature, but like a more realistic caricature.
It's interesting. Yeah, it's really, and again, like the really confusing part of it all is that it's Wit, right? It's like, it's something I feel like something really fresh from them that we haven't seen. And yeah. Like I was saying, like the backgrounds were something I stared at a lot. Like it's not that they paid attention to like a lot of detail in the background. Like the backgrounds were there. It's the way they colored them. They used like these, like everything wasn't like a traditional color. Like a building could be green, you know, like just like this weird green with like yellow shadows. And it was just like what, and sometimes like the colors didn't fit in the actual like lines. And I was like, this is so,
it was super cool.
So wild. Like it felt
very artsy.
Yeah, it did. It felt artsy, but it also felt like very like classic anime. Like this is good. Like this is an anime that I can show someone and they'd be like, yeah, that's anime. It doesn't look like cartoons. It doesn't look like, you know, like the shit they've seen. Like you could look at it and be like, that's different, but I can recognize it as anime.
Yeah. And I mean, most recently, I think we saw Vinland Saga from Wit Studio, which again is another show that's based in reality, and it's just so much different looking. This show is beautiful. Yeah. So we've got like amazing jazz music as our soundtrack all over the place. It feels fun because essentially the whole show is a series of heists that have all been pre-plotted. But
forever ago.
Yeah, exactly. But we don't like know what the steps are or any of it. And like then we find out with our main character, who is for some reason constantly kept in the dark. It's fun as fuck.
I feel like he's kept in the dark because of the way he reacts. Like they're like, hey, this con will work.
He's too genuine.
But only if he genuinely believes that the thing that is happening to him. And so that's why they never like keep him in there. And because he's such a good guy, there's like, even though he's the bad guy because he does bad things, right? Like there's
the whole plot of the show is there's a giant group of different con artists, and they're all some of the best in the world. And specifically, our main character is from Japan. He's the best con artist in Japan, I guess. Even though his
even though he
skills
gets caught
compared to the Americans.
Shit,
yeah. It's just crazy, dude. This show is so much fun. Anyways, yeah, that's the general plot, is just he's one of the best con artists, so he's doing all these cons, but since it's a collection of con artists, they can go up against some like real big people that can actually like influence the world in negative ways with their money. Right. So they swindle all these like other really shitty people.
Right.
So it doesn't hurt any good people.
They're like the Robin Hoods of like con artists,
yeah.
right? Like they steal from the rich, give to the poor kind of thing. Even though the poor is mostly them, but then they do good things with that money. All like like drug lords, right? Like fucking thieves, like art.
I mean, you just need to watch the intro of the show. It tells you literally every part of each plot. Except you watch it and you're like, oh, okay. Like the whole time I'm like, what's this magic show gonna be at the end? I wonder. Maybe it's like a presentation of some sort. I wonder what's gonna happen. And then it gets to an auction and I'm like,
it's an art auction. Yeah. I go, I wonder what the planes are for. Oh, plane racing.
Oh, cool. Literally the plane.
Yeah. No, like that. Like if we go back to talk about the intro for a sec, like the intro comes in, it's like, and it feels like a lot, and it's not until I think episode like.
I think that the intro, it looks kind of like a Disney short or something like that.
Yeah.
If that makes sense, where you just see like silhouettes of people doing like
shapes.
Crazy things.
Yeah. Like,
and you get an idea of who the characters are, but it's just kind of shapes.
Yeah,
with
it's
like a color.
Implied shapes. Yeah, like an airplane is like a few rectangles and like some triangles put together, and you go, oh, cool, like that's an airplane. Yeah. But when I was watching it, I didn't really pay more attention to it until I think like episode 6. So like, oh, intro's good, I'm enjoying this. But episode 6 is the new case, and I go, oh shit, oh, it's all in the intro, right? And I'm looking at the intro, and I go like, this gives me like, and when I talked, I don't know who talked about it. I know that they were called cases. I only know they were called cases because you gave the news at case
because
14 and on was going to be massive. And I was like, I thought they were detectives. So I was like, oh, they're good guys. And they're like, oh, these guys are bad guys. These are con artists,
They're casing the joint, those kinds of cases.
I was like, oh, they're good bad guys. They're bad guys that are good. And I was like, I don't know what this is. I'm enjoying it. But
the show was so fun.
The intro gave me like Lupin the Third vibes, like that running around, the manicness, the like, the sleuthiness, the like, everybody has their own skill that they're all good part of. And what I really liked, and it wasn't until I feel like the very first episode, the scope of how big this network was. Mm-hmm. I was like, wow, this there's so many of them, and we don't find out there's how many there are until later. That I go, this all feels so believable. Like a lot of this could happen.
The show is Ocean's 11 plus like 2 extended families.
Exactly. Like, it's like Ocean's 11 the anime. It's like fucking. It's great. It's really good. It's a lot of fun. You and I were talking about like who would recommend it to. I think I would recommend it to like a lot of people. Like I would
recommend it to almost everyone, but there are some. My only stipulation with this is that some of the anime jokes in it are very like, if you already know anime, totally good. Otherwise, this is going to be your first introduction to those kinds of jokes. Yeah, and the rest of the show feels like a very different style of comedy and pacing than those anime moments.
Yeah, I feel
it might detract some like completely like unexposed people.
Or it could just like kind of take you out of it for a second. You go like, oh, they're having this very serious conversation, and then someone gets teased as being called a virgin, and where it's like, oh, right. It's still anime. It's still an anime. They're still an anime. Or being called a perv, right? Like, oh, you're a little perv. Yeah. It's like, oh, right, it's anime.
Nothing wrong with that. It's just some anime shit that deters people from enjoying it the same way. Like, you and I fucking love it. It's amazing. Yeah. The only way I'm knocking points off of it is because I'm like, well, I can't tell everyone to go watch this.
Exactly.
Like, no, it's the only reason.
Like we always talk about Erase being like the perfect go-to intro to anime kind of show, because that show doesn't really have any of those massive tropes that are really like jarring to people. Yeah. Like it's a pretty straightforward story, and that could be, and we've seen it actually in live action. It could be live action, it'd still be great.
And they did a pretty damn good job.
Yeah, if The Great Pretender was live action, I think it's possible.
Oh yeah.
I think that if they kept those jokes, it would feel a little.
Those jokes would be written out.
Yeah, they should be.
And that's my only gripe with it. This show's a fantastic show, a solid 9 out of 10 in my book because of those jokes not being something for just non-anime fans.
Yeah, I think we were talking about this before, and you were talking about like, what do you have against, like, what's something you could knock it? And I didn't really have anything. The more I think about it, something that I feel like that I didn't like about the show was at points I felt like I could predict what was going to happen. Like I was like, I know what's happening next. But then again, there's also times where I had no clue what was happening, and something completely different would happen. I'd be like, oh fuck, how'd they pull it off? But it didn't fool me all the time. Like I wasn't. There's like, oh, like especially near the end of like the first case, I was just like, I know exactly how this is gonna end. Like I just like, yeah, like at a certain point, I'm just like, for the last 20 minutes, I know exactly what's happening.
Yeah, absolutely. But the whole fun of that show is just like watching the characters' reactions and how it like, you know, the big moments, how they're gonna pan out, but it's kind of just like, all right, what's gonna happen in between though? So it was always entertaining to watch for that, like, I know what's gonna happen moment.
Yeah.
But on top of that, just the whole situation of like, okay, I know what's actually going on. Like, they're not tricking me this time. Every once in a while, they hit you with like, big trick, this is actually the situation.
Yeah.
And every single time that happens, they play a song like specifically for when like, this is the big reveal of this is the crazy shit you didn't know about main character. And it comes in really hard with like some trumpets and shit. And it's like, ba-da-ba-ba, 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 like again and again.
Yeah.
So then as I was watching with Kyle and Sam, and every time that a character would like do something that was a little bit different, just instantly like somebody would wind up going ba-da-ba-ba, and just everyone erupts into like that song, because it's over the top, it's ridiculous, it's so much fun. Yeah. And it's just constant, like every 3 minutes or so, it's like, oh, here's a new twist into the story. Let's wait to see what happens. And then it's like, that twist was actually a different twist that you didn't know about, that was secret, that guy that's been living in that country for 20 years just came here so that he could specifically do this. It just like escalates to all this crazy.
Yeah, exactly. There are things that there's no way I could have guessed, because it's information that is not being presented to me at all. Like,
exactly.
As a viewer, I'm just like, I can't piece any of this together, because that shit happened off scene, like off camera, right?
Which is fantastic, because it makes you relate more to the main character.
Yeah, and that's the point. That's the reason he's there. He's the catalyst. He's the one that we see things through his eyes, and like obviously his boss uses him for that reason. He's like, hey man, I need someone to react like a fucking Goombas, and you're the best Goombas we got, man. Just do you. And I also like when there's times where they put him in situations and he does something very unexpected, and he goes like, fuck, I didn't think he'd do that. Shit. All right, we're fucking rolling with it. We'll do it live, essentially. Like, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, it starts out right away where he's like pretending to be the doctor, and then he does some like other weird shit, and they're like, why is he doing that?
Yeah.
Well, we're adjusting with it, and they're like, hey man, good fucking job. We totally didn't see that, but you nailed it. Like,
yeah.
It was great.
Yeah, it's really fun. Like we were saying, you know, it is great. I would recommend to a lot of people. The rating for this show was MA. It's mature audiences, and there is nudity, there is drugs, there's death, there's murder, there's violence. There's a lot of things in it where like, yeah, I wouldn't feel comfortable with someone who's younger watching this. Teenagers, I feel like that's great, right? Like, you know, in your
hit
teens,
like 12, 13, you're probably good to go.
You're probably okay to watch this. You've probably seen like worse things. You've probably seen things that are like at that level right now. Like, but I wouldn't. This isn't a show you want to watch with your little kids, you know, your children or whatever. Like, I wouldn't recommend it to them. One day, I think you should show it to them. I think it's at that level of like this shit holds up, and it has a lot of merit, and it's a great watch. But it's not for really young audiences.
Which is fine, because like I watched it in Japanese. Did you watch it in English?
No.
Yeah. Which is totally fine, because there are a lot of different things that is. You can't pick up on it if you're young, I think.
I'm going to tell you how the dub was, actually, if you don't mind. Like, so our main character is Japanese, and his boss is French. So when the show starts off, they're speaking in Japanese, like, and then we see subtitles, and I go, oh fuck, did I not put the right setting on, kind of thing, you know?
You're all good. There was actually a notice that I think Netflix might have put out that was like, don't worry guys, that's just how it goes.
No. Yeah, so like I'm watching it, and it's like I'm enjoying it, and then eventually they start speaking English, and because, you know, in the first episode he gets tricked to go to the United States, right? So he's speaking English with a very thick Japanese accent. and our French character is speaking with a French accent. And they keep talking back and forth, and the French guy's like, man, you need to really need to work on that English, bro. Like, it's good. It could be better. Like, he keeps mentioning stuff like that. And then there's a moment when they're like, I'm not annoyed with it, but I'm at that point where like, man, is this the dub? Like, if the dub is this really thick Japanese accent and this really thick French accent for 14 episodes, I don't know if I could do it. And
like
then
10 minutes in, you're fine.
Yeah. And then there's like a pause, and then like it's a really fun pause. There's like a voiceover that goes like, and this is the part where we go to English or whatever. And they start speaking English there, and it's like their accents get smoothed out. They have really good voice actors, and it's really great. And then there's parts later in the show when people will be talking French or I think Japanese, and we'll see subtitles and stuff. So it's like, because it's intended to be in a different language for the show. So
yeah, which they did such a good job with. And in the version that I was watching it in Japanese, they're talking with very thick English, like Japanese accents in English and whatnot. The French guy does have like a different sounding accent than the Japanese guy, and he does speak English more clearly. But yeah, it was very like, okay, I know what's going on.
Yeah, I go,
good
how
job.
long?
Like, there's no way it's gonna go on forever.
Exactly.
So
I was like, how long is this gonna go? And I was just like, because I liked it. I was like, it makes sense, and why would he speak in a fluent English accent, whatever. And then they cut it and they do the thing and they smooth out, and they have amazing voice actors, and I go, this is great. And then later on in the show, as the show progresses, because time progresses, there's like time leaps in the show and stuff.
Yeah, between cases and like big travel between countries and whatnot.
People will be like, hey man, your English has improved a lot. And he's just like, God fucking, like, he hates hearing it. He's like, God fucking damn, I'm so sick of people talking about my shit.
Yeah,
and
like, your French accent sucks though.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, exactly. So yeah, or he goes eventually, I think for the last case they're in France, and he's just like, yeah, bro, I don't speak French. My bad, fucking multiple bennies or whatever,
It's so great. The French people are just like, oh, thank you so much for helping us with like our art and everything. It's so nice of you guys to like try to get it back for us. Really appreciate it. And he's like, what?
The soup's great. Love it. Thank you so much. The soup is delicious. And it's like, that's not what I'm talking about, you idiot. Like, yeah. So yeah, man.
No French. It's good. Yeah, very fun characters. Really interesting way to tell the story, and I felt like they were able to balance that element of like realism with like the cartoonish heist elements very well. So I never felt like it was too outlandish for these characters to be doing anything.
Yeah,
I felt like anything could happen and it would be fine, and it's kind of cartoony, but then it also feels very grounded and like, yeah, if there were this smart people, like, sure, why wouldn't this work?
Like, it was never too over the top. And I think that's something that Lupin does sometimes, where it goes way too far. And I go, like, this doesn't feel like that. This does feel, like you said, grounded in earth, like grounded in reality.
Because there wasn't like hacking or anything like that. They didn't have to be like, oh, we got to like watch for the cameras. You got to watch these guards. Yeah. These were all like cons.
Yeah, it was.
So they were never those kinds of situations where you had to like break into somewhere. It was never a situation where like
a samurai cuts a bullet in half kind of stuff,
Yeah, it always felt like, okay, so we're going to fake making this drug. Okay, so we're going to get really good at doing air racing. Mm-hmm. Okay, so like...
so we're going to get all our friends together to make a pretend fucking auction. There was just essentially it boils down to them being really good liars and actors. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, okay, good. That's a lot of what their conning was. And then every now and then we got like someone had a super special skill, like forging a painting or making fake footage or some shit like that, right? Yeah. But yeah, it was a really good time. I really like the characters. There's times where you don't like the main character, because the main character is sometimes just there as like a very like blank slate for you to kind of like be a part of him or whatever, and kind of like experience the world. And there's a lot of times where I'm watching a show and I end up liking like the side characters more than the main character. In this show, I really, really ended up liking the main character.
I liked all four main characters, because let's be real, like they were all very much main characters, but the main one we were following was Edamame or Edamura.
Yeah, I love that they called him Edamame. He's like, that's not my fucking name. I thought it was so funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, I liked him a lot. Like he felt very like, he felt deep. Like when we got his backstory early on, and like we saw him mature and we saw him try to help his friends. I liked him a lot. One of my favorite things was he had this reoccurring thing where he would like buy capsule toys, like from like little machines, like put quarters in and like wind it up, and little plastic toys would come out, and they were like historical figures, samurais, warriors, or whatever, just a bunch of stuff. And somehow every time he pulled something out of a capsule, like we didn't know why he did it, and it wasn't until like I think the last case where he's just like, hey, every time I pull one of these out, or maybe it was the second case, he pulls out, he goes like, I pulled them out, and I think they're kind of like a, what's he say, like a fortune, or like a, you know, it's telling me what to do. It like gives him guidance or whatever. And I was like, this is really cool.
Well,
like,
what's this guy do?
Yeah. It's like this specific samurai, or this fucking farmer, or like this ballerina, and like it's like, I don't know, like I really like that little thing about him that he would do.
So
and I was
cool.
Like, that's it humanized him. It made him like a real person, more real than he was. Like it fleshed him out a lot. I think the only character we don't get a great background on yet is the French guy.
Yeah.
But they do at least by the end of this season, which is 14 episodes long, they do tease at him, you know, the next story being about him, because the first 3 are about our other main characters. So I'm super excited to learn about him. Like I feel like I know who he is. I feel like I also don't know who he is at all, kind of thing. Like
absolutely. Like he's the mastermind.
Yeah, like he holds his cards really close to the vest, right? Like it's like he was holding up like a ring or something, I think, or a locket or a necklace, and he says the girl's name. I was like, oh, what the fuck could that mean, bro? Like I gotta know, you know. Our other character, you know, the girl that's what was she? Was she Filipino? Was she
Abigail?
Yeah. Abigail Jones. That's right.
Abby. Yeah.
Abby Jones. Yeah. She. It's super funny when you told me that. Like, there's a character named Abigail. Was like Abigail Jones. Like, I have a classmate named that. I have a friend named that.
Yeah.
Like, and every time I watch this, like every time they would say her full name, I was like, fuck, I can't. No, this is a different person. My friend doesn't fucking fly planes and do drugs or whatever. You know, like beat the shit out of people. But like her backstory.
Abigail's tight as fuck.
Yeah, her backstory is very compelling too. Great actress. You know, great con. And she, you know, she was one of the more damaged characters, right? And like we see her, because like I said, time progresses between cases, we see her change and develop and mature, and like I think become closer to, you know, Edamura, even though like she's like, I don't fucking like this twerp. It's like, yeah, you like him, you care about him, you know, like and then
it almost felt like a little bit of romance might be like budding, almost, I think so too, like a little bit,
but I don't think it's it'd be a focus of the thing, right? Like
no, I don't think so either. Like that would never be a plot point. It would just be like, yeah, these characters like kind of together or whatever.
They might end up together or something, and that's cool to think about that. But I'm glad it's not like that's not the story. The last one was
Cynthia's story was dope.
I liked her story the most. I think. I think she had a really cool backstory. Her skills again were very like she's a very good liar. She's seductive, right? But she's also like a very real person. And to see who she used to be and like what she became, and then Edamura being like, yeah, you're still the same person. Like time has passed, but you're the same person. You're a good person. Let's rob this fucker blind, kind of thing. Like,
because she's essentially just like she is the drunk like actress.
Yeah, she was. That's
wanted all to be an actress. Is for a while.
She wanted to be an actress, and it never ended up happening. She wanted to grace the stage, and this is what she does now. And she does a great job. Yeah, no, man, it's a fucking killer show. It's great that the show does break up into cases, so we can't just be like, so it's not like one huge plot. So I can't be like, well, it starts like this, and then this happens, because everything is like it happens within the chunks of 4 or 5 episodes. It's like, great, I don't have to tell you the plot points. I don't have to tell you exactly what happens, because a bunch of shit happens. You know, like we get the broad strokes. And I think people are still able to go in and watch this and enjoy this with themselves.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Overall, it was a lot of fun. I really liked the last case. I thought the last case was interesting for character development purposes. But I don't know if I have a favorite. It's tough, because the first one, it was so fun and exciting to see, like, oh, what way is this story going to change? And the second one was very, I guess it was more honest than the other ones, because their conning for that was like, yeah, we're just going to get good at flying, and then we're going to use this capsule in order to fuck over the guy that's been fucking over people forever. And then, yeah, overall, that one was a lot more straightforward, and they fucked him over in different ways. Of course, because they're the best. So every single story, whatever gets set up, is going to wind up wrapping up really nicely and neatly for our con artists.
Yeah, don't go in thinking that like everything's perfect, because if everything's perfect, right, like you're like, oh well, that's not fun, they're gonna win in the end. There are always wrenches that are thrown into the mixed, and we always have to see them kind of traverse it, and that's what makes it, I feel like, exciting. I feel like, especially in the third one, I was just like, holy fuck, that happens, like
dude,
it becomes
again, yeah.
It starts off as a really simple con, and then it, because Edinburgh doesn't do his homework, it's just like, you fucking idiot, now we got to go in and do all this extra shit to fix the thing that you fucked up in,
and it's your money.
yeah. You owe me. Yeah. No, it's so good. It's even though we know that the good guys are gonna win, it's fun to see how they win, and it's even when things don't go their way, it's fun to see how they fucking skirt back into the right lane. So
by the end of the first case, you're like, yeah, they're winning like anything they want to win, and then when they get into the second one, and they're like, we're not going to con, really. I mean, we are, but like mostly we're just flying planes. I was like, well, this might backfire for that reason. And then the last one, it was like, all right, newbie, he gets to choose the case.
Yeah.
And then he fucked it all up, but everyone overcorrected and wound up, doing a bunch of other crazy heist shit. It's great. I love it.
Yeah, no, they're all great cases. Like I said, I think I enjoyed the third the best, and probably like the first one the least, just because like I had to be like, well, what am I watching? What's going on? And that was one where like I guessed the ending pretty quickly, but that's because it wasn't one of the most, what's it called, like the most like complicated cons, right? It's pretty there. It's like if you're paying attention, you're like, okay, cool. Like I think that makes sense.
But it wasn't exactly like from point A to point B, I know what's gonna happen.
No, it was like to get there.
All right, so I know what we're trying to do here, and then it kept being like, oh, but what about this? Oh, but what about this? And then suddenly it's like, this is the new situation. And they go, fuck, okay, well we got to kind of figure everything out now. And it wound up being, just a very fun series of events that you watch unfold in different ways. They're geniuses. That's the plot of the show. They're all just con artist geniuses. So
good job, Wit Studios. I feel like you killed it. I'm super excited to see more of this, because we do know that there's another case coming out. We don't know exactly when we're going to be getting it, because it is a Netflix thing, and Netflix likes to do shit like, take off their Karate Kid on the 1st of September, so Juan can't finish the movie, so they're the fucking devil. But yeah, whenever we get this, I don't know if we can review the last half. I don't think we will. Maybe we'll talk about it on the show, but not make it an episode kind of thing, right? Because it doesn't feel like it's a second season, right? It feels like it's like too core with the gap. Does that make sense?
We could do like an end of season wrap up on it.
Probably. I think so. I think that'd be the best way to do it, just because I don't think it'd warrant a whole nother almost 2 hours of speaking about another case, even though it's great that, that we're able to talk about this so freely, because we enjoyed it so much.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, though, like, if you are even remotely interested in anime, you've listened to this whole podcast, and the fact that you have The Great Pretender to now go and watch and enjoy every episode, that's fucking sick. You're living a great life. You got Great Pretender.
I wish I had that fucking short-term memory loss. I could forget it all, watch it again, and be like, holy shit, they great pretending to be. Oh my god, these fucking confidence, man. All right, man, is that it? Do you want anything else to say about The Great Pretender, or are we done?
No, honestly, man, this show just blew me away. Told my mom to check it out.
Oh, dude, classic show to tell your mom to check out.
Classic mom show.
Yeah. Good shit, man. Good shit. All right. Well, that was Great Pretender on Netflix. Check it out when you get a chance. And that's the show. Next week, we're doing, what's it called? CVR, right? Or
VCRX.
Yeah, which is the Crunchyroll Expo. It's going to be virtual. It's going to be online. We've been posting a bunch of stuff on social medias as to like what's going to be happening, what kind of guests they're going to be having. It is free to attend. You should register beforehand. I'm pretty sure you're still going to be able to register the day of, but it happens the 4th through the 6th. So this weekend, we're going to be watching
Friday,
that
Saturday,
and talking
Sunday.
about it.
Yeah.
And, we're going to be doing the stuff we usually do with the expos. It's like giving like highlights, news, cool things that we saw, and then also reviewing the experience of, the expo. This is the second virtual, expo we're going to be going to this year because of COVID. So I feel like we have something to compare it to, which is interesting, because the first one was kind of going in there blind. Like,
and honestly, like Anime Expo just had to pivot like last minute.
Yeah.
They just didn't plan for this, but Crunchyroll has been planning for it
for a while.
So I'm really excited to see what kind of cool stuff they're going to do. I mean, they have like a whole platform to go off of. They have like a website that looks clean and works well. At least I've experienced good things with their website. Anyways, they have that kind of experience where Anime Expo is essentially just like they make an app so that you can look at maps and like look at their schedule.
And they just schedule random groups that come together. But I think it's because it's Crunchyroll. They are like the powerhouse. They have to show up and they have to really represent.
So Crunchyroll is the powerhouse?
Right. Today they are. Tomorrow, who knows? Maybe high dive. But what I'm saying is, like, I'm excited for Crunchyroll Expo because I enjoyed Crunchyroll Expo, like the one we went to in person, so much.
Yeah, it was really cool. I mean, like, there are benefits that we were used to from Anime Expo that we didn't get at Crunchyroll Expo. But Crunchyroll Expo killed it in presentation.
Yeah.
Really solid, just like floor plans and flow of everything. It was good.
Yeah. I mean, everything can always be better, obviously, right? Nothing's ever perfect, in my opinion. But I am super excited and super, I guess, what's the word? Optimistic about this virtual Crunchyroll Expo.
I am too. I've been getting more and more pumped. Like, yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's kind of hard to get yourself pumped for something that, like, you know, because we're always pumping ourselves up for Anime Expo.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm just gonna watch it on fucking computer. But no, man, they've been doing a good job of really getting us psyched. So we're gonna be talking about that. Hopefully it'll all look great. Hopefully you can participate. And if you can't, well, then you'll just have to hear us talk about it.
Also, I'm personally very excited because they announced that Crunchyroll's gonna put out some like tropical themed clothes, and I'm like, tropical anime Crunchyroll clothes? Fuck yeah. Whatever it is, I hope that they have it in my size. Like, I'm so stoked about that.
Buying matching outfits.
Hell yeah, dude. Showing up for the virtual expo, wearing the same clothes each day, except it's fine because nobody has to smell us but us.
Yeah. Okay, so that's it. So that'll be next week's topic. Make sure you're a part of it and you can enjoy it with us. If you like our theme song, check out Tom Nasser on SoundCloud and YouTube. Trip, where can people find us?
You can find us on Facebook. Look up the Instagram Podcast. Same thing goes for Instagram. Look up the Instagram Podcast. If you want to shoot us a tweet at Instagram and Pod.
Podcast Benefit.
And if you want to shoot us an email, instagrampodcast@gmail.com. We are always looking for recommendations, suggestions. Totally down to chat and vibe. Like, and hit us up, homies. We're all friends. We love you guys.
Yeah, so this is bye from Juan.
See you around from Chris.
Hey, Trip, don't forget.
Just add hot water.